In this lecture, we are going to see the basic concepts of the engineering mechanics. So let's go to the video. So first see what is free body diagram. So before solving a problem in engineering mechanics, first we have to draw a free body diagram. So let's see what is free body diagram. A free body diagram is a sketch of a body, a portion of a body or two or more bodies completely isolated or free from all other bodies, showing the forces exerted by all other bodies on the one being considered. So characteristics of free body diagram are, it is a diagram or sketch of a body. The body is shown completely separated from all other bodies. The action on the body of each body removed in the isolating process is shown as a force or forces on the diagram. So if there is a one system of forces like one body and there will be a forces acting and also the other body which is combined with that body and there will be a force also. So what you should do to draw the free body diagram is you should remove the other body and you should consider only the forces acting from that body to the body which you consider. Okay. So the free body diagram is simply a body only. It will have only the forces and moments, the whatever the system of forces will be there. So next, system of forces. Several forces acting simultaneously upon a body is called a system of forces. So there are two types, which is 2D and 3D. So 2D is called as coplanar and 3D is called as non-coplanar. In 2D there are two types, that is concurrent forces and non-concurrent forces. In non-concurrent forces also there are two types, that is parallel and general. In non-coplanar 3D, there are two forces, that is concurrent forces and non-concurrent forces. In non-concurrent forces, there are two types, that is parallel and general. So let's see what are all the forces in detail. So first, coplanar system of forces, that is 2D. First case, collinear. Collinear means, see in the first diagram, the forces F1, F2, F3 are there, but the line of action of forces are coincides in the same line, means linear, that is called as collinear. See the second diagram, there F1, F2, F3, F4 forces are there, but they are not in the same line, but the line of action of force will meet at a point. So that's why it is called as concurrent at a point. See the third diagram, there are four forces F1, F2, F3, F4. They are not in the linear line and also the line of action of the forces won't meet at a point, but they are in a parallel lines. So that's why they are called as parallel forces. Next, see the general case. There will be a moment, there will be a forces in all the directions. So such kind of a force system is called as general case. Okay. Next, non-coplanar system of force, that is 3D. So here see concurrent at a point. So we already know that concurrent at a point means the line of action of force will meet at the same point. So same in 2D, but only the different thing is there will be only a XY plane, but here there will be also a Z plane, that is 3D. Okay. Next one, parallel forces. In parallel forces also, the forces F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 are there. They are in the parallel lines. General case. Already we have seen that general case will be, the moment will be there. The forces will be in all the directions like that. Okay. The best examples are shown in the right hand side. You can refer. So next, method of approach to solve concurrent and non-concurrent force system. So how to solve these concurrent and non-concurrent force systems. That's what this is the method. So first consider 2D. In 2D, in concurrent, to find the resultant, there are four methods. First one is parallelogram law, triangular, second one triangle law, third one polygon law, fourth one method of projections. Okay, so you can use any of these method according to your problem and you can find the resultant. Next, to find the unknowns, there may be an unknown, like if three forces are there, one is unknown. How to find that? So for that there is two equations, that is fx equal to 0 and fy equal to 0. So using these equations you can find that unknown. Next, non-concurrent. In non-concurrent, to find the resultant, there are four steps. First step is choose a reference point. Second one, shift all the forces to a point. Third one, find the resultant force and couple at that point. Fourth one, reduce the force coupled system to a single force. Okay. So first we have to choose, if just consider many forces are there, many number of forces are there. First choose a reference point, then shift all the forces to that point, then find the resultant force and couple, then convert it as a single force. So that is the second method. Next one, in non-concurrent case, equilibrium. How to find the unknowns by using equilibrium equations. So to find the unknowns, there are three equations like summation of fx equal to 0, summation of fy equal to 0, summation of mx equal to 0. Okay. So there are three equations. Using this equation, you can find the unknowns whatever there. Next one, going for 3D. In 3D also there are two types, that is concurrent and non-concurrent. Students first understand that there are 2D and 3D problems. In 2D problems also there are two types of forces, concurrent and non-concurrent. In 3D also there are two types of forces, concurrent and non-concurrent. So in concurrent and non-concurrent also, in non-concurrent also we have two types, that is parallel and general. Like 3D, in 3D also in non-concurrent there are two types, that is parallel and general. In the first video I told wrongly, I guess, but you just see in this video, in this slide you can understand clearly. Okay. Next, in 3D, first one, concurrent. In concurrent, to find the resultant, this is the equation. So when consider the 3D problem, we are using vectors because it will be very difficult without solving vectors. Okay. So the resultant vector R vector equal to F1 vector plus F2 vector plus F3 vector here. Okay. Like that, to find the unknowns, that is the method shown in that figure. Like that, in non-concurrent also, to find the resultant, this is the equations. And also to find the unknowns, these are all the equilibrium equations. Okay. That we'll see elaborately in the upcoming videos. Okay. So first, today we are going to see the 2D problem. Okay. So we already know that in 2D problem there are two, that is concurrent and non-concurrent. So I have just zoom it in that, zoom the previous video here. Okay. There both 2D and 3D was explained. Here I have shown only the 2D. So we already know that for concurrent forces, to find the resultant we have 4 laws, and also to find the unknowns we have 2 equations. In non-concurrent case also, to find the resultant we have 4 laws, and to find the unknowns also we have 3 equations. Okay. So first problem. So here see, the problem has given, determine the resultant of the following figure. Okay, this is the question. Just see the figure. There is a point A. From that A there are 4 forces. Okay, F1 which is equal to 150 Newton, F2 equal to 80 Newton, F3 equal to 110 Newton, F4 equal to 100 Newton. So this is 2D, so only we are considering X and Y plane. Okay, and also there is a angle about which the forces is acting. Okay, so this problem will come under 2D and concurrent, and in concurrent we are going to find the resultant. Okay. How to find unknowns will be a next problem. Okay, first we will see how to find resultant. Okay. So here see, here the problem, just see, first you draw a one table, that there you write forces, then F1, F2, F3, F4, then you write the magnitude, how much it is, 150 or 80, 110 and 100. Okay, then what is X component and what is Y component, that you know to find, right? Example, for example, see F1 force 150. So what is the X component here? F1 cos theta, that we know. So theta is 30 degree. So what is F1? 150. So F150 cos theta will be X component. What is Y component? F1 sin theta will be Y component. That's what it has written there, 150 sin theta. Like that, consider the F2 force, that is the F2 force magnitude is 80 Newton. X component, here you see X component. First you have to decide what are all the directions you are considering positive and what are all the directions you are considering negative. Okay, so here I am considering right side as positive and left side as negative. So that's why only here x component has become minus 80 sine 20. So this difference you have to understand. Okay, so what is the x component here? So theta is about y axis. So here the y component will be f2 cos theta, but x component will be f2 sin theta. That difference you should understand. Okay, so here it is along the left hand side. Okay, so it is or you can consider it is in the minus x direction. So it is minus 80 sine 20. Next, coming to y component, it is plus 80 cos 20, because in y direction it is in y only, not in the minus y direction, like it is in the upward direction only, not in the downward direction. Okay, so it is coming as plus 80 cos 20. Okay, then f3 magnitude is 110. Okay, it is along y direction, so there is no x component, only y component only, and also in y also it is in the minus y direction, that is in the downward direction, so it is minus 110. Okay, then consider f4 force, that magnitude is 100. So here x component is 100 cos 15 degree and y component minus 100 sin 15 degree, because this y component will coming under minus y direction, that is in the downward direction. Okay, then do summation for x components and also y components, then you will get summation of fx equal to 199.1 and summation of fy equal to 14.3. Okay, so how to find the resultant r? So find the resultant r is square root of summation of fx square plus summation of fy square. So you can find resultant r. Okay, and where that resultant r is acting, if you want to find that is equal to tan alpha equal to fy, summation of fy divided by summation of fy, because tan theta equal to opposite by adjacent. Okay, so like that you can find what is tan alpha, then from that you can find what is alpha. So the resultant force is 199.6 Newton, and also that force is acting at the angle of 4.1 degree. Okay students, from next in the next class, next video we will see the another problem. In that we will find the resultant and also the unknown. Okay, thank you.